Buenos días, soy la Bruja Espinada. So I'm here to do the weekly lesson and message reading for you guys, and let's get started. So for today, the Divine Feminine message that came out are two cards. We got Rita of Cassia, who's the patroness of impossible causes. We got Ariadne, who is the mistress of the labyrinth. From the Enchanted Blossoms Oracle, your lesson for this week is passion. Now, for the first card that actually fell out for what do I need this week was the Hermit card. So this card tends to represent solitude, seclusion, wisdom, inner guidance, and meditation. So it's pretty straightforward. The message is to retreat from chaos of the outside world and look inward. So this week, something's gonna happen where you really need to take a step back. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we have to take a step back, especially in these times where you really need to assess how to move forward, especially when things are thrown at you that you don't expect. And a lot of it has to do with what resonates within in order to make the best decision for yourself. Because who knows yourself better than you? And sometimes we tend to forget what is in our best interest, and we move and make decisions for others and not ourselves. And the Hermit is the best representation of no one's gonna live our life for us but us. And if we choose to live it for others and they don't reciprocate, then we wind up losing ourselves. And we really need to focus on going within and finding who we truly are. So, how do you get what you need this week? So the first card that pops out is the King of Blades. This is a no bullshit character right here. Very decisive. If someone is kind of iffy or doesn't seem straight out, this card is highly suggesting you confront them and say, look, all bullshit aside, let's be real. What the hell? And sometimes you just need to set that boundary of like, look, quit pussyfooting around. Let's be legit. And sometimes you just got to do that. Followed and paired with this also came the Emperor. Another no bullshit card. This represents power and authority, control, experience, and knows their shit. And when paired with the King of Blades, it's like, no bullshit, because I know shit. Let's be real here. Also, that came along, so 3 cards for this, is the Tower. The Tower signifies drastic change, sadness. So whatever comes to you this week or whenever you see this, it's telling you that it's gonna be drastic. Not necessarily so. It may be just drastic to you emotionally, mentally, stressfully, but it's for a reason. There has to be change, and change is constant. We need change in order to learn, in order to grow, in order to get better things for ourselves. You might have a good thing going for you right now, but maybe that goodness is about to run out, and then something better will come along. It's cyclical. It happens, which is what you see here. You see this arch, but it signifies that, okay, it's movement. Things are happening for a reason. Things have to move. If they stay the same way, it becomes stagnant. And you don't want that. You may not want change, but you also don't want to sit in a pile of rot. You need to get out of that and keep it fresh and keep it going and keep it moving. So these messages are that you need to think about what it is that you need and to cut out what you don't, to cut out all the bullshit and get straight to the nitty-gritty. Because you already know your shit, because you have that expertise, you need to start applying it in order to get things moving. And just know, this signifies, just know that even though it seems like a whole lot of hell, it's gonna be okay. Things will get better. What do you need to give this week? Is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant signifies like leadership and spirituality, study, dedication, and study primarily. So sometimes, even though it first suggests that you need to search within yourself, this card right here is saying that even though this is a journey for you, sometimes you got to put all your pride aside and understand that it's okay to ask others for help. Now, I know I'm not one to ask for help because I think I'm a badass bitch and that I don't need any help. But you know what? Sometimes even the baddest bitch needs a little help sometimes. We get tired, we need to replenish, and sometimes a little outside advice can go a long way. And that's what it is. The Hierophant asks that you search outside of yourself for answers. So when you go inside of yourself and you're trying to find what it is that you need to get through the bullshit, don't be afraid to present this to someone else for a clear perspective that may even help you make the best decision. So, going back to the messages from the Feminine Divine. With Rita demonstrates the power of prayer. Now, you may not be religious and you don't have to be, but what she signifies is that it says, I am miraculous. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. The moment that you start to look within to find that strength, that in itself is spiritual. And the moment you start to do that, there are endless possibilities of what it is that you can do. You just gotta have that faith in yourself. And that will make the biggest change, especially when you're in a position that you feel lost, you feel trapped, and you feel like you have no place to go. Going within sometimes is your best bet. Now, this perfectly ties with Ariadne. Now, Ariadne is the mistress of the labyrinth. A labyrinth is a giant maze, and no maze is greater than the maze within ourselves, especially when we're trying to find our way out of even our own bullshit. She says, my soul knows the way, and the only way is through. Sometimes to get to the other side and to get out of the bullshit is to go through it. That's just how it is. Sometimes the trail, trying to go around, over, is way harder because the simplest way is to go through it. To go through your own shit will make the biggest difference in the world. She represents the love and support that's available to us should we choose to have the courage to take on our mission, to take on our lesson, to take on this message. She's a symbol of hope and divine assistance in the step-by-step process we take to move through difficult time and confront injustices in our life. So again, yes, you have to take this journey. It's a self journey for sure. But sometimes seeking outside assistance is helpful, not only because we're looking for someone that knows us better than we know ourselves. That's not the case. What it's trying to say is sometimes someone else's journey, what they've learned, can help you through your journey. And not necessarily because you need to take the same steps, but because it can give you an idea of where to start, how to start. Now, tied into with the Hierophant is the lesson. The lesson that's given is passion. How does this make any sense? Because passion here tells you that your passions are your own and no one else's. This also goes into looking into what works for you. Studying what's going to work best for you. Studying. These two pair together, just telling you that sometimes when you have to start a journey, you're going to have to find your best mode of transportation. Would you prefer to fly there? Would you prefer to go on a cruise, take it easy? Would you like to drive and take in the scenery? Would you like to go hike it? Whatever's going to be best for you, boo. Like, that's the key point is, yes, you can get insight from other people because maybe you haven't taken that path before. And that's the point, that you can seek outside guidance to find what works best for you. Sometimes you have to hear lots of different people's stories or other people's experiences to see what it is that you're going to like. Why else do you read reviews? I hope you read reviews. Your best bet. But it helps you determine and make that decision on what's going to be best for you. And that's the message for this week, is you have to go within. Don't be afraid to ask for help to start you on your journey. You got this. And have faith that you will come out on top on the other side. Because you will. Because you're strong. And you're going to be able to do it. I hope you like this reading. And I'll see you again next week.